Hi, I hope I'm audible.
Yes, Divya.
Great. So welcome to DurgaSoft. As you know, today is our first demo. We are going to start MySQL batch. And before starting, before getting started, let me explain about myself. I am Divya. I have about 8+ years of experience into data analytics. I completed my master's on data science, and I have teaching experience in all the data science subjects like SQL, Tableau, Python, Power BI, statistics, and machine learning. So with DurgaSoft, currently I'm working with MySQL and Tableau. And today this is a demo class, but let me tell you, this is a kind of add-on batch. Like last week, we started one batch at 6 p.m. IST. We got some students there, and whoever will get register here, we wanted to move the students also to that batch. So maybe after 3 or 4 days, the batch timings will be from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. IST. So please check whether that timing is suitable for you or not. Okay. And before clubbing, we will make sure to balance the concepts for you as well as for them. Okay, no worries, all the concepts are explained slowly and clearly. And here I will explain everything from scratch. Like in every batch I'll get some mixed students, like someone who is already working on SQL, who has already experience in working with SQL but wanted to learn some advanced concepts. And some students will be like freshers, some students will be like they are from non IT background, and they they wanted to transfer their career to the IT industry. And of course data analytics is one of the top best platform to shift their career, right? So like that, so keeping everyone in mind, I'll explain everything from scratch to the very advanced concepts here. Okay. And yes, 6 p.m. won't be okay. Okay, Tapas. Actually, as this is demo class, right? Today and tomorrow, maybe tomorrow, by tomorrow, I will tell you. Okay, I'll ask once whoever students we have won't be okay. Yeah, okay, I got it. So, as I said, we got some students for 6 o'clock batch. First, in tomorrow's class, I'll ask them that whether 7 p.m. is okay for them or not. I'll check with them. If everyone is okay, then we will continue with 7 p.m. only. Anyways, as this is demo class, just attend today's class and tomorrow's class. In tomorrow's demo class, I'll just inform you about the timing. Okay, maximum I'll try to shift. I mean, I'll try to continue with 7 p.m. only, but first let me ask them once. Okay. Yeah, fine. So today first let me give you introduction about databases and SQL, and before that, if it is, that's okay. And if possible, if you want, can you can explain about yourselves, like are you freshers, do you have prior experience or prior knowledge on SQL, are you from IT industry or non IT industry? If you want, you can unmute and you can speak, or else you can just text in chat box.
So myself, Divya, myself Tapas, and actually I'm working in a non-IT sector.
Okay.
Going to move into IT sector, so that is the reason I am opting for this MySQL. And next, I will be looking for Python course.
Okay. Okay, fine. Okay, Tapas, thank you. Shravani, what about you?
Hello, myself Shravani.
Okay.
I'm doing my master's in data science. I would
Okay.
like to know the SQL concepts also, and I'm doing internship in Power BI. So if I learn concept in SQL, it will be useful for my further.
Correct.
So
Yes. Okay.
I want to join here.
Okay, I got it. Thank you. That's
Thank you.
great actually. So here, first of all, we learn everything by, by using real-time database. Like whenever we started working in any company, we will work with real-time databases, right? Like that, we took one database. It's we can call it as movies database or OTT platform database. So I'll once, I'll show you that database. I'll explain you that database. Just a second. Okay, sorry, let me continue. So I'll show you how to restore that database into your systems, and then we will learn all the concepts by using that database only, where we have some thousands of rows, so that At the end of the this course, you will get confidence on working with database. You will feel like you got some hands-on experience in dealing with the databases and SQL, and we will learn each and every concept by solving examples on that database. Okay, so I'll going forward, I'll show you the course content which we will cover in our course. But first, let's understand what is database and what is SQL today, as this is our first class. Okay, so you might already know, but still let me explain you everything from scratch. As I said, I'll keep in mind all the students, whoever will come from the non-IT background. So keeping all of them in mind, let me explain. First, let me give you a basic idea of what is SQL, what is database. Okay, before that, let's talk a little bit about the importance of data. Right, we all know that we are generating lots and lots of data today, correct? Why data became so important for us? Let's just discuss a little bit about it. Okay, so yeah, maybe many years ago we didn't generate this much of data, but nowadays we are generating lots of data, right? Especially from the time maybe demonetization happened, right? What happened when demonetization took place? Overnight we started using digital payments, right? Overnight we started using paytms, phone pays and all, correct? We started doing digital payments. And what will happen, for every payment, that is nothing but for whatever transaction we do, we are generating data, right? It is, everything will be stored into the databases in the form of data only. Like, what is the transaction ID, what is the amount we paid, to whom we paid, at what time we paid, everything will be stored in the form of data, correct? And especially from the COVID pandemic time, the generation of data became so, it's become 100 times bigger than previously what we generated, correct? Because everything we started doing online only. We started, working from online, we started learning things online. Today also we connected in online to learn something, right? We started doing online shopping, we started using many applications, e-commerce websites or e-commerce applications like Amazon, Flipkart, it can be Swiggy, right? We are watching OTT platforms. Whatever we are doing by using our smartphone nowadays, that is, at the end of the day, we are generating data only, correct? As we are generating this much of data on daily basis, definitely they should have some good systems where we can maintain that data in a proper manner, correct? Because why we are maintaining the data, why we are storing the data, in the sense data is a key thing by using which we are analyzing, we are making decisions in our business, correct? We are storing the data, we are trying to analyze the data, and based on that data analysis only, we are trying to make some business decisions, like, whether we are getting profits or losses. If we are getting loss, what is the reason behind it? Like that, it is helping us to improve our business. Not only, I mean, of course, this is not a data analytics course, it's just an SQL course, so I don't get deeper into it. But whatever this is, this data analysis and all, it don't stick into single domain, right? In every domain, in every field, in every company, data analysis is being used, it is required, right, as we know. And let's forget about data analysis, let's talk about SQL. Okay, so I believe I can say that SQL is a backbone for complete IT industry, right? Whatever job role you choose, whatever domain you choose, not only data science or data analytics, it can be, full stack development, Java development, or even it can be testing. Whatever job roles you choose, SQL is a must to learn, correct? Definitely we will work with data. We should know, we should have good knowledge on SQL. And along with SQL, accordingly, whatever domain we are choosing, we need to learn some more subjects to get a perfect job, right? So now, just now we understood we are generating lots of data, right? I hope my voice is clear, right? Because of this cracker sounds, is there any disturbance, or am I audible clear?
It is clear.
Yeah, okay, great, thanks. Perfect. So as we understood just now, we are generating lots of data, and I said, as we are generating lots of data, we need good systems to maintain the data, right? Previously, we all know that many years ago, where computers didn't came into existence, what we used to do, everything was made man-made, right? We used to store everything manually, maybe in files. Later, computers came into existence, then we started storing data into systems, maybe by using Excel files, text files, PDFs, and all. But later, as the data generation is increasing lots, and like data generation is we are generating lots of data, we started using databases. Database, what is database? In the sense, the place where we will store all the data, or else we can say collection of data. Collectively, we can store data inside a database. Okay. And what is SQL then? As we know, the full form of SQL is structured query language. But what exactly SQL is? In the sense, before explaining the definition of SQL, let me give you one example here so that you can relate the things very easily. I'll just give you one small example so that maybe just consider this is one school. Okay. Maybe I'm talking about any particular class like 10th class, 10th A section. Okay. So in this class, they are maintaining data in one register manually. Okay, the data of the students, maybe the student ID, okay, student marks, student attendance, like that. Some data they are maintaining manually. Okay, one day the principal of the school, he wanted to analyze the students' performance. Maybe he wanted to check the attendance of the students or marks of the students, and what he did, he called his peon and he said to his peon that go and bring the register. The peon understood what principal want. He went to the class, he took the register and he gave back to he gave that register to the principal, where principal can see whatever he wanted to find, right? The entire scenario, instead of storing data in the registers, if let's consider this is a big university, something like JNTU or any big university where they have some thousands of students. Okay, instead of storing data manually, they started storing data in a database. Okay, let's think they are storing the students data here in the database. So in this scenario, whenever principal wanted to see the data, whenever he wanted to analyze anything, in the previous example, however, principal said to peon that go and bring the register. In this, you know, he might use some language, right? Maybe English language, Hindi, Telugu, whatever, some language he should use. Then only peon will understand what principal is exactly saying and he can bring the register, right? In the same way, if we are storing data inside a database, here, whenever whoever wanted to analyze or whoever wanted to see the data, they should use a language called as SQL to communicate with the database. In the previous example, principal might use some language to communicate to the peon, then only peon understood principal's requirement, right? Here, whenever we are storing data in the database, whatever we require, whatever the requirement is, whatever data we wanted to see, to understand that requirement, to make database understand our requirement, we need to use a language called as SQL. Okay, so what is SQL? In the sense, it is a language which is used to communicate with the database. I think it is clear. So SQL is a language. This is a definition of SQL, which is used to communicate with the database. Okay, so as we understood, we store data inside the database. Whenever we wanted to see any data, to communicate with the database, we will use SQL as a language. Okay, so whatever concepts we are going to learn, all the concepts, actually SQL is a universal declared language. The concepts belongs to SQL only, but here I'm saying we are learning MySQL. Then what is MySQL? In the sense, we have so many databases or so many tools in the market, right? Like Oracle SQL, MySQL, SQL Server, PostgreSQL, like that. We have so many databases in the market. Like Oracle company company's database is Oracle SQL and MySQL. Of course, MySQL also belongs to Oracle. SQL Server belongs to Microsoft. Like that, we have so many companies and we have so many databases. Whatever database it can be, whatever if it is MySQL, if it is SQL Server, that is okay. End of the day, we are using SQL concepts only. Whatever we learn, the reason why we are learning MySQL here in the sense, it is an open source platform. That means it is freely available for everyone, and because of that reason, most of the companies nowadays are preferring to use MySQL. Not only because of this open source or free availability, even in this MySQL we have some, they got some extra security features by using which we can maintain the database in a more safer way. Okay, because of these two reasons, most of the companies nowadays are preferring to use MySQL, and that is the reason I choose to use this tool in our class. But anyways, as I said, the concepts belongs to SQL, and whatever we learn here, everything is applicable in other databases also. That is, whatever we learn here, you can even apply that in SQL Server also. Don't think that, if you see any job opportunity on SQL Server, that is a different thing. It's not like that. Everything is same. Whatever we learned, you can apply all of them in these databases. Okay, basically we have SQL, I can say we have SQL is divided into two types: SQL and no SQL. Okay, whatever databases I said so far, that is it can be MySQL, Oracle SQL, SQL Server, PostgreSQL, all of them belongs to SQL. Okay, whatever we are learning here, you can apply all of them. You can apply all that concepts in all of these databases whatever I listed just now. But NoSQL is again a different thing. We can't use whatever we are learning here in MySQL, we can't use those concepts in NoSQL. That is a completely different thing. In under NoSQL we have popular database, that is MongoDB. This is again different. Okay, but whatever databases I just listed before, all of them you can use with the same concepts. Okay, so what else? So first we will create database. Okay, inside a database we will create tables. Okay, and inside the tables we will store data, and every table is a collection of rows and columns. Okay, so let's see one example. Maybe I wanted to store some employees data. So my table name is employees. I'm storing some data like this: employee ID, employee name, salary, date of joining. This, and I'm trying to enter some random data here. As this is an Excel file, I just enter data like this. Okay, but what is this actually? Employees is my table name. As I said, every table is a collection of rows and columns, right? So vertical thing is called as columns. This one, this is columns. That is, I am having four columns. We have four columns here. Employee ID is one column, employee name is one column, salary is one column, date of joining is one column, and horizontal thing is called as row. That is, this is first row of data and this is second row of data, like that. Okay, and as this is Excel file, I just wrote like this. But in SQL we need to write everything. We have something called as syntax. Okay, syntax is nothing but you can consider it as like a rule or like a formula. Okay, for each and every concept we have some syntaxes and we need to follow that syntax in SQL. Okay, and we have something called as RDBMS. That is nothing but relational database management system. Okay, relational database management system, that is nothing but, as I said, we will store all the data in the inside tables, right? Then what is RDBMS in the sense if all our tables are related to each other. Okay, if all the tables are related to each other, then we will call that is following RDBMS technique. Okay, SQL always follow RDBMS technique only. Okay, that means in SQL, whatever it is, SQL in the sense all the databases like MySQL, SQL Server, okay, all the tables definitely will be related to each other. Okay, as it will always follow RDBMS techniques. Whatever tables we are creating inside the database, all the tables should be related to each other. How we will create relation between the tables later we will learn. uh, but this is the basic understanding about what is database, what is SQL, and what are the some databases available. Is this clear? Any doubts at this point of time? Perfect. Then let's start creating our first database. For that, let me show you. Let's understand about the user interface of MySQL. Once we are done with our demo classes, I will show you the installation process of MySQL. Okay, no worries. I will show you the step-by-step process of installation. But for now, after opening MySQL, this is the page, where you can see local instance. We need to click on it. Just a second. Let me close this files. Okay. So this is MySQL workbench. Okay. So here you can see something called as schemas. Okay, below schemas, whatever you can see, this is a list of databases available in my system. Okay, I created this many databases. That is the reason you can see all the database names. Okay, but by default, whenever you install the system, whenever you install this software, you can able to see only sys database. But after that, whatever databases you will create, that database list you can see in this section under schemas. Okay, and below this is information section, where you can find the information. Like if I select any database, inside database, if I select any table, all the information about that table, like how many columns are there, what are the data types, every information we can able to find it here. We will see it later practically, but this is the information section. And this is a editor page or canvas where we will write all the queries. Okay, we can open SQL files from here, and in this only we will write all our queries. And at the bottom, this is output section. To see the output, we will execute the data, we will execute the queries. After executing, we can find the outputs here in the output section. Okay, and as you can see, this already one file is open for me. And to open it, to open a new file, we have, as first of all, as you can see, this is a menu bar, this is a toolbar. As however we have in like Excel file, in everywhere we will have these options, right? So to open a new file, we have two options here. Either we can click on file, and inside file we need to click on new query tab. Then you can see one new SQL file is open for me. And we have one shortcut, that is first icon in the toolbar, this one. This is a shortcut to open a new file. Okay, so if I'm just clicking on this, again I can able to open a new file. In this new already opened file, even we can have, again we are having some options here. What is this options in the sense, after writing anything, if we want, we can save this file, right? So to save this file in our system, this is the save option, save button. We need to click on it, and we can save this file into our system. And whenever we wanted to open already saved files, we need to click on this first icon, that is folder icon. We can just click on folder icon, and whatever we wanted to open, we can just open from here. Okay, like this. So this is to open already saved files, this is to save the file, and this third icon to is an execute button. Okay, important. This is execute button, third symbol. After writing every query to see the output, we will execute, right? So this is the execute button. Okay, and these are some options we have in the menu bar. Going forward, we will see. Okay, for now, this is enough. So let's create our first database and let's create our first table. But before that, let me say, explain you some points here. Okay, as we discussed, database is nothing but it's a collection of data, right? And SQL is nothing but it is a language which is used to communicate with the database, right? And we have something called as comments in SQL. As in every programming language, it can be Java, Python, in every programming language, we will have something called as comments. Likewise, in SQL also we have comments. Comments is nothing but, inside comments, if we write anything that is non-executable, if you don't want to execute anything, you can just keep it inside comments. Okay, we have basically two types of comments, that is single line comment and multi-line comment. Okay, in single line, if I wanted to write in in single lines, if I wanted to keep it as comment, we will use symbol. If you can see here, if you observe here, I wrote the definition of database and SQL, but before that I used one symbol here, right? This is nothing but comment, because this is not a query, I don't want to execute this, right? So that is the reason I kept it inside comment. So single line comment, either we can represent by using this symbol, two hyphens, or hash. Either you can use this or else you can use this, and in that one single line, we can, whatever we are writing here, that is a comment, that is non executable. Okay, and not a single line, if you wanted to write some multiple lines as a comment, then we will use hash star, and we can write anything, how many lines we want, and then to close again star and hash. This is the start of the comment, this is the end of the comment, hash star star hash. In between, how many lines we want, that many lines we can write it, and this is considered as a comment, that is not executable. Okay, usually in my classes I will write all my theory kind of notes inside comments like this, if you observe. Anyways, from once you get register, you will get, live videos, recordings for you, for you can access that recording, suppose if you miss any day, or else even after attending also, if you wanted to listen once again our class, you can just access that videos. You will get that access for 6 months, and along with that I will give you notes as well. But I don't believe in sharing only some kind of PDFs or theory notes. Instead of that, I will share this SQL files only for you as a notes, where you can find theory part here, okay, as well as syntaxes, examples, everything in one page. Okay, so I'll give you this files only, I'll show you how to access those files, so that whenever you wanted to practice everything on one go, you can able to see, right? Theory as well as examples, syntaxes, everything you can able to find in these files. So usually I'll keep the theory part inside comments in our classes. Okay, so this is about comment. And SQL is, especially MySQL is case insensitive. That means we can use uppercase or lowercase, no problem. Okay, anything is fine. It is case insensitive. Okay, so this is about a little bit understanding, some points before starting or before creating our first database. So now let's create our first database. As I said, for each and everything we have syntaxes here, right? So for creating database also we have a syntax, that is create database, database name. This is the syntax. create database name. So let me just okay, let's create our first database. As this is 7 o'clock batch, let me just give the name as create database SQL 7. Okay, I'm giving name as SQL 7 database name. Now this is the syntax to create the database. We need to select this. We need to click on the third icon, execute button. Okay, and you can see in the output section, wherever you can see like this green color tick mark, that means it got executed successfully. Now the database is created, and whatever database just now we created, to see that database name in this list, you need to refresh here. If you can see, we have a refresh icon, refresh button here. Just click on it, then you can able to see we got SQL 7 database whatever we created just now. And we can even expand this, and by clicking on this triangle shape arrow mark, you can see inside every database will have 4 sections, that is tables, views, stored procedures, functions. We will learn everything, but for now we are concentrating on tables. Later we will learn about views, stored procedures, everything. Okay, so this is how we will create the database. Next, let's activate the database. What is activating the database? In the sense, you can see I'm having so many databases here, right? And we I wanted to use SQL 7 database in our class. So I know that what database I wanted to use, but how to this SQL, we how come SQL know that what database I wanted to use? So to make database understand, to make SQL understand, actually not database, to make SQL understand what database I wanted to use, I need to activate that database. To activate the database, we will use command, and the syntax will be use database name. Okay, so I'll say use SQL 7. So by using use command, we need to activate the database. Let me execute this. I'm selecting, executing. Now you can see it got highlighted, right? Remaining all all databases are light in color, but this particular SQL database is got highlighted into bold characters, right? So now currently this database is in activation. Now SQL will understand that we wanted to use, we are going to use this database, and going forward whatever queries we will execute, all that queries will be executed under this database only. Okay, so every time, usually in real time we will work with only one database, that is will connect to our client's database. So no need of activating there. But here in learning process we will have so many databases, so we need to activate every time, daily or every time whenever we are going to use, we need to activate. So we created a database, we activated the database, right? Now let's create a table. As I said, for everything we'll have syntax here. For creating table also we have a syntax, that is create table, table name, and we need to use brackets. We will call it as parentheses. Okay, within the brackets we need to mention column names. How many columns I want, that many column names I can give. Column name 1, and we have something called as data type. I'll explain you what is data type. But for every column we need to define a data type like this, comma, column 2, and data type for that column, comma, like that. How many columns I want, that many column names I can give here. For example, here we wrote employees table, right? For employees table we are using 4 columns here, right? Employee ID, employee name, salary, date of joining. Like that, how many columns we want, that many column names we can give. But for every data type we need to for every column name we need to give the data type. Okay, this is the syntax for creating table. Let's create the same employees table only. Create table, table name is employees. Okay, what columns we give? Employee ID is 1 column, employee name is 1 column, salary is 1 column, date of joining is other column. 4 columns I want. But I didn't define data types yet, because before defining data types first, or before creating this table, first let's try to understand what is data type. Okay, so I think one more point I wanted to cover. As I said, before, you know, databases came into existence, and when immediately computers, we started using computers, we used to save data in Excel file and text files, right? Still, nowadays also we can store data in Excel file, okay, but we have some limitations in Excel file. We have some disadvantages with Excel file. Because of that disadvantages only, databases came into existence. In couple of days we will discuss about the limitations of Excel file, actually what are the problems we have in Excel file, and how we are overcoming all those limitations by using database. We will discuss that also in detail going forward. Okay, now what is data types we need to understand. For example, I just gave this employees data, this table here in Excel file, right? Suppose, see, this is the salary column, right? I entered 75,000 here. Instead of that, if I give hello, it is just accepting. Instead of date, if I write anything, it is just accepting. Excel file always accepts whatever we write, right? It won't throw me error stating, okay, this is salary column, you need to enter numbers, you entered some textual data. This is date column, you need to enter dates, you entered some random textual data. It won't throw any such errors, it won't throw any such alerts. Whatever we are entering, it will just accept. We humans, definitely we will do mistakes, we will, whenever we are dealing with lots of data, human errors is possible, right? So this is one of the biggest drawback of Excel file, that if we are entering any incorrect or inappropriate data, it won't throw us any error, it will just take whatever we write, right? This is the biggest drawback of the Excel file, and we overcome this drawback by using data types concept in SQL. Okay, data types is something by using which, data types will only decide what kind of value we can enter in that particular column. Suppose if I need every time in SQL, in while creating the table, what we need to do while defining the column, we will define the data type, and that data type, according whatever data type we defined, accordingly only we can enter the data inside. If I defined number data type in salary column, I need to enter numbers only. If I'm entering any textual data, it won't allow me, it will throw us error. Okay, so that is the use of data types. Data types only will decide what kind of values we can enter into the column. Okay, because of this reason, if we are entering any wrong data, it won't accept, it will throw us error, so that we can rectify our mistake. So what is data type in the sense? Data types will decide what kind of values we can enter in any column. Okay, so we have some types of data types. First one, we have numerical data type. Again, numerical data type divides into two types, that is int and char. The second one is character or string data type. Again, it is divided into two types, that is char and varchar. Next, date time data type. We have again two data types in it. One is date data type, one is date time data type. Okay, mostly we use these three data types only, but sometimes we use one more data type, that is boolean data type. Boolean is nothing but we enter two values only, that is true and false. Okay, but mostly we use these three data types. Let me show you one picture. You can see numeric data type, character or string data type, date and time data type. Numeric data type again divides into int and float. What is int in the sense we can store only numbers inside int in the sense integer. Okay, so we can store only numbers, but sometimes we need to store decimal values also, right? So we will use float for that. Float accepts, I mean, if I define float as a data type, I can enter normal number like 1, 2, 3, and even I can enter decimal values also. So it will accept normal numbers as well as decimal values. But int only accepts normal numbers. It won't accept decimal values. Okay. So whenever we can expect any decimal value, we can define float as a data type. Next, we have char and varchar. We will call it as fixed length and variable length. So why we will call it like that? What is char? What is varchar? I'll explain you by taking one example going forward. Okay. Next, we have date and time data type. If I wanted to store only date, then I'll use a date data type. And we have a format for that. We need to definitely use, follow that format only. That is, we need to store first year, then month, then date. This full year, like 4 wise, like 2025, like that we need to use completely year, then month, and then date. Only this format is acceptable. If we are storing, if we are using any other format, it won't accept, it will throw us error. Okay. And date time data type, along with the date, if you wanted to store time, then we will use date time data type. Okay. And the format is year, month, date, and then hour, minute, second. Okay, like this we will store first date and then immediately time, hour, minute, and second. Okay, and as I said, stores only numbers. Char will store numbers and decimal values. Okay, don't worry, in this I'm not writing very clearly and completely just to save our time, but as whenever I upload the notes, I will upload already another notes which is there very neatly described there. Okay, I don't upload this file as it is. I already have some other notes where you can see clear explanation in that. Okay, so sorry, it's not char, my bad, it's float. Here also I wrote char, sorry. So numerical data type, int and float. Int accept only numbers, float accept numbers and decimal values. Next we have character or string data type. We have two types here, char and varchar. I'll explain you this in a while, but let me explain one more point here. Whenever we are defining character data, we define size also. Okay, this point also I'll explain you while creating the first table. Okay. All right, date and time we understood, and sometimes we may use boolean. If we are defining boolean, we can enter only two values, that is true and false. Okay, so this is about data types. I hope it is clear, right? Any doubts?
It's clear, Divya.
Perfect, perfect. Now, as we understood about data types, let's create our table. Okay, because we need to define data types as well, right? So let's create our first table, employees table. Let's define data types for each column here. So employee ID column, I wanted to enter numbers. So I'll define int as a data type. Okay. Employee name, as this is character data. Here I'm defining char as a data type. But as I said, I'll explain you about what is char and what is varchar going forward. Okay, for now, just understand only one thing. I'm using char as a data type to store the textual data. But one more point I said that whenever we are defining character data, we define size also, right? What is that in the sense? Suppose if I'm using char as a data type, after defining char, I will use brackets here, and within the brackets I'll define some size. Here I'm defining 10 as the size. That means I'm allocating 10 bytes of memory for this employee name column. Okay, each byte will take each character. That means I'm allocating 10 bytes of memory for employee name character. In the sense, I can enter up to 10 characters only in this column. If I entered 11 letter word or 12 letter word, it won't accept. It will throw us error. I can enter up to 10 characters only in this particular column name because I am allocating 10 bytes of memory only for this particular column. Each byte will take single character. Okay, that is the use of defining size. How much data we wanted to enter, that much size, accordingly that much size we will give. Okay, so next we have salary column. Sometimes we can expect decimal values also, so I'll give float as a data type for salary. Okay, and next I'm having date of joining, obviously date data type. All right, date data type. So for employee id I give int integer, that is I wanted to store numbers here. For employee name character data, and I define size as 10. For salary float data type, I may get some decimal values also. It will accept normal numbers also, so I used float. Date of joining, date data type I give. Right, this is how we will create the table. Let me just select this, I'll execute. You can see it got created. Right, and to see this affected, here we need to refresh. Okay, we have a refresh button here, I'm just clicking on it. You can see tables here, I can expand, and you can see employees. Whatever table we created just now, we can see that table here. And if I'm selecting the table from here, in the information section it will show us info about the table. That is, the table name is employees. Columns, we have 4 columns, and it will show us the data types also, whatever we defined. Right, like that. If you wanted to check any, what kind of, how many columns are there, what are the data types are there in any table, you can just click on the table name, and entire information we can find in the information section. Okay, now we created the table. Okay, so let's see the Excel file. The table structure got created. A table name we gave, column names we give, but we need to enter the data inside the table. Right, to enter the data inside the table, we have one more command, that is insert command. Here also create, for creating the table we used create command. We have something called as commands actually. For creating table we use create command. Okay, so create command is something which is used to create any database object. Database object is nothing but, it can be tables, it can be views, it can be stored procedure, anything. All of them we will call it as database procedures. For now we saw only, create, how to create the tables. That syntax only we saw. Whenever we are learning about views and stored procedures, we will see that creates syntax also. Okay, but basically create is a command. We will call that, we have some commands in SQL. Okay, our next concept is that only commands. So there we will learn all the commands detailedly, but here we are learning few commands. Create is one command which is used to create any database object. Just now we used create command to create the table. Right, likewise we have one more command called as insert, which is used to enter data inside table. Okay, so insert command is used to enter the data. And let's see the syntax. Insert into table name, we will use a keyword called as values, and we will start giving values inside brackets. So let's give insert into table name is employees values, and I will enter all the values inside the brackets. And every time while giving the values, we need to follow the same sequence, like first employee id, employee name, salary, date of joining. So let me give you first employee id 1, maybe employee id 1, employee name is, I'm giving randomly something, next salary, next date of joining. And we need to follow the same format, first year, then month, then date. Okay, if you observe here, each column data I'm separating by using a column, comma. Okay, comma separates column data. Here whenever we can see comma, we will understand this is first column data, second column, third column, like that. And once, you know this once the bracket is closed, that means this is first row of data. And if you wanted to give second row, again we need to give a comma after the bracket, and within the brackets again we need to enter the values of second row. Okay. So I entered some ran two rows. Maybe let me enter one more row here. Okay. How many rows we want, that many rows we can enter. If you observe, I'm using single quotes for character data and for storing dates. Okay, either you can use double quotes or else you can use single quotes to store character data or dates. Only numbers we will give normally, but always character data and date values we will use quotes here. Okay, it can be single or double, no problem. So I am entering three rows of data. Let me just select it and let's execute. It got inserted. Okay. And now what happened? We created the table structure. We entered the data. To see the output, we will have one more command, that is select command. Okay. Select command is actually used to display the output. And we have syntax, that is select star from table name. Okay, this is the syntax. Star here in the sense, technically we will call it as asterisk. Okay, let me write at the bottom. Okay, star in the sense asterisk, which is actually used to display complete data. Whenever we wanted to display complete data, then we will use star here. For example, if I write select star from table name, that is employees, it will display all the data or the complete data from the employees table. You can see 4 column names, 3 rows, whatever I'm having, completely it is displaying. Instead of complete data, if I wanted to see any particular data, I can write that particular column name here. For example, I wanted to see employee name comma salary, then I'll write that column names in the place of star. Okay, from table name, like this. If I write star, it will give me the complete data. If I wanted to see any particular data, that particular column names I need to give in the place of star. uh, Let me remove this. Now let's check. It will show me that data only, employee name, salary, like that. Okay. So today we understood how to create the database. Then we activated the database. We created a new table. We inserted some data and we displayed the data by using select command. And of course, we learned about the data types also. I hope whatever I explained today, everything is clear. I just left over, about the difference between or what is char and varchar. I didn't explain. I'll explain in tomorrow's class. For now, I wanted to show you the course content which we are going to cover in this course. But before that, is there any doubts till now, whatever we discussed?
Hi Divya.
Yes.
I don't have any doubts in the subject, but I would like
Okay.
to know merging. You said about the merging with previous batch.
Correct.
They're already ahead of 1 week, right? Will it be
Yeah,
okay?
actually, yeah,
Did
that would
you
be fine.
complete it?
Actually, I took only 3 classes for them. Anyways, I will, I gave some the Diwali holidays for them from last 3 4 days. So once whatever concepts I covered for them, anyways, I'll take one more class tomorrow for them. Whatever concepts I covered for them, all the concepts first I'll cover for you. Once both the classes will, both the batches will get balanced, then only I'll club. This is
Uh,
our daily job. Actually, for every batch we will do this thing. So
okay,
and in this process we don't be, I mean, it won't be any hurry just to combine. I won't explain you anything fastly and I
okay,
won't skip anything. Anyways, whatever folder access I will give, you can able to see those videos also. You can check later. Everything will be covered in the same space, slowly only will be covered.
okay. What if it is won't work for 6 o'clock batch? Is there any other batch like 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock?
Currently, no, actually, but I'll let you know. Okay,
Yeah,
maximum. I
tomorrow
already
we'll
spoke with
decide.
2 students.
Okay.
uh, remaining students I need to ask once. They that two students already said for me that any time is okay for them. Let me ask all students tomorrow and I'll intimate you. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Because 6 o'clock is very hurry actually. If it
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
uh,
And usually, every time I'll take either 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock for, but this time only due to this, due to already I have some slots. We
okay.
started 6 o'clock, but just 2 days back only my 7 o'clock batch is also finished. This slot is also free only for me, so I'll plan accordingly. If they are not available, I'll try to continue for you at 7 o'clock maybe, and for them at 6 o'clock maybe. I'll tell you. Okay, no problem.
Yeah, one more last question.
Yes, please.
I heard it is a 35 days class, which
Yeah.
is including in weekdays, weekends, or
That I'll explain you now. Okay.
yeah.
35 sessions I'll take actually. Okay. That is Monday to Friday I will take. Usually weekends I won't take. If needed, maybe any one Saturday, but maximum I won't take on weekends. Monday to Friday I'll take classes. So 35 sessions will be in 35 sessions the concepts will be covered. Let's have a look on the concepts whatever we will going to cover in our course. And before that, yes, 35 sessions. Course fees is only 3000. And first, let's see the syllabus or course content. Introduction of databases and SQL, which we are done today. Limitations of Excel file, maybe in couple of days I'll explain. Creation of database and tables. We just started creating the database and the table, of course. MySQL installation. Next, data types in SQL, we are already done. Next, important topic, SQL commands and sublanguages. Just now we covered create command and insert command, select command, three commands. But usually we have something called as sublanguages. All the commands are divided into five sublanguages, that is DDL, DML, DCL, TCL, and DQL. Under each sublanguage, we have so many commands, which I will explain very clearly by solving some examples. These are all the commands we have in each sublanguage. Okay. Our next
Okay.
concept will be this one. First, tomorrow I will explain about the difference between char and varchar, and then we will start with this sublanguages concept. And then we have something called as integrity constraints. That means we have some keys or constraints here, like primary key, not null constraint, check constraint, foreign key, unique constraint, default constraint, like that we have some constraints. We will define these constraints on the column level. I will explain everything again here detailedly by solving some examples. So up to this integrity constraints, I will use normal tables, like today we used employees table, right? Like that, going forward we will use some students table or orders table, some random tables normally we will create and we will understand, because this is very basics of SQL. Okay. This Once we are done with this integrity constraints concept, next I will show you, I will give you our real time database. It is a kind of movies database actually, but you can even consider it as a kind of OTT platform database. I'll explain you about that database, how many tables are there, what kind of data we have, and I'll show you how to restore that database into your systems. And then we will start our actual concepts. Next concept will be operators and clauses. Okay, we have some clauses in SQL like where clause, order by clause, distinct clause, limit clause. Okay, and we have some operators like and operator, or operator, not operator, between operator, membership operator, that is in operator. Like that, we have some operators where we will use all these operators inside a where clause. Okay, and everything from here, everything we will learn by solving so many examples by using this movies database only, so that practically you can understand very clearly each and every concept. And one more important operator we have, that is like operator. That is nothing but, by using like operator we can actually check for the data patterns. We can search for any particular patterns. Whenever we are trying to search for any particular patterns of the data, we will use like operator. We have some wildcards in it, we will learn everything clearly. Okay. And next we have functions. This is inbuilt functions. We have some inbuilt functions in SQL, like number functions, character function, date functions, aggregate functions. In each of this, again we have so many functions. Like in number functions, again it is divided into so many functions. We have so many functions in it. Every function we will learn detailedly here. Okay, this is important actually, because going forward in all the concepts we will use functions. Also in joins we will use functions, in subqueries we will use functions. So first we will discuss functions, and then we will start understanding about joins. And I believe joins is the most important concept in SQL. Like, however, SQL is a backbone for complete IT industry. I feel joins is a backbone for complete SQL, because we will use joins a lot in real time. So we have so many types of joins, like inner join, left join, right join, outer join, self join, cross join, natural join. Every join we will discuss detailing, not only just explaining theory part. Here we will solve so many examples, not only examples, the main important thing, in which scenario we need to use which kind of join. Learning joins is okay, but we need to understand whenever we are joining any tables, what kind of join we need to apply there, whether it is left join, whether it is right join, what join we need to use. That one also we will understand very clearly. And as joins is important concept, only for this concept, not only the examples whatever I'm explaining in the class, I'll give some kind of practice questions or assignment questions. Okay, and I'll give some time like 1 week or 10 days. Take your time, whenever you get some time, try to solve those answers. It's not like submitting to me, just yourself try to attempt the answers. And once you are ready, I will explain those solutions in class. You can only check that whether you can able to solve them or not, so that you can understand whether you can able to write or solve joins concept or not. Only this this thing I'll follow for joins concept only, not all the concepts, because joins are important. Okay. And it's not like you need to submit me and I'll correct. It's just for your practice purpose. If you are interested, you can just check, you can solve and you can recheck whether you can able to solve them or not. Okay. And next, one more important concept, regular expression. Whatever domain you choose, if you are working with SQL, definitely you will work with regular expressions also. It's just like a like operator. By using regular expression also, we will find pattern matchings of the data. We have some anchors in regular expression. We will discuss everything very detailedly. And along with the clauses, whatever I explained before, we have some more clauses in SQL, that is group by clause, having clause, using aggregation in group by clause. But actually, the reason why I mentioned here in the sense to solve some good examples on this concepts, we need to understand joins concept. That is the reason after joins we will learn this concepts here. Okay. Next we have subqueries. We have types of subqueries here, like correlated subquery, non-correlated subquery, single row subquery, multi row subquery, like that we have everything we will learn detailing. Okay. Next we have normalization, denormalization, normal form. When whatever database we will work, that will be a perfect normalized data. But before getting a perfect database for us, usually clients will give data, they will give some raw data, right? We need to convert that raw data into perfect database. Okay, so the process of converting raw data into perfect database, we will use this concept. I will explain everything very detailedly, and I can bet in any other institutes, if they include this concept, they will only explain theory part. But here I'll take a real-time sales data, raw data, and I'll show you practically how we are going to convert that into a perfect database. Okay, and next, ER diagrams, views concept, index concept, temporary tables. All these concepts are small concepts only, but very important concepts. Usually temporary tables, to remove duplicate data we will use temporary tables. We will discuss use cases and examples also. CTE, one more advanced concept called as common table expression. Next, stored procedures, one more advanced concepts. Window functions, nowadays in every interview they are expecting, we can expect at least one question on window functions. So we have five types of window functions, like rank, dense rank, row number, lead, and lag. All of them we will discuss detailing, and at the end we will discuss some interview questions as well. Okay, for all the concepts we will solve some examples by using this database only. Okay, this is the course content which we are going to cover. We covered all the concepts here, nothing is left over in SQL. Whatever we have, everything is covered here along with the advanced concepts as well. So this is the course content which we are going to cover. Any doubts, any questions?
It's clear actually. I think we'll see tomorrow.
Perfect. So tomorrow is also a demo class. Just attend tomorrow's class. And about the timing also, I'll confirm you tomorrow. And yeah, as it is a demo class, we will just continue, with the concept that we will start SQL commands. Let's meet tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Bye bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Hi Divya.
Yes, Tapas.
Yeah, Divya, the class duration would be?
1 hour only. As
Okay.
this is demo class, I just extended, but it's usually 1 hour.
That's fine.
But
That's fine.
exactly time, whether it is 6 to 7 or 7 to 8, I'll confirm tomorrow. Okay.
Sure, sure. If it is 7 to 8, we can like I can continue. If it is 6, it
Yeah,
will be very
I,
early. So
yeah, I understood. Mostly I'll continue in this slot only. No problem. Okay.
okay, okay. Thank you, Divya.
All right, guys. Okay. Let's meet tomorrow. Bye.